Hey Samantha. Okay, here we are at the beach, West Haven. Um, Good shooting. I've got a couple of edits for you, and let's get going. So we've got kind of an industrial beach here in terms of this big pier and the structure and all the signage here. Um, this week I was trying to get you to look at nature more and water and sand and natural things instead of built things. That said, I do like this picture though because it's structured well. You know, this foreground has a nice strong focal point and all these diagonal lines are working out okay. This sky is a bit bright back here and that could be edited down. So let's see here. Yep. Let's improve this. Don't be afraid to start editing. That's a huge part of the class. It's, in fact, the shooting is almost secondary. Shooting's important, but the editing is super, super important. So let me fix this up here and bring this into the frame. And this was from Kristen's work. And get rid of this. Okay. So file new. And clipboard, create, and paste Control V. So the way it's right now, it's, not so great. It's kind of boring actually. But through editing, we can make this a lot more interesting, far more interesting. You've heard me say with other folks, but it's true again. Watch out for your horizon line. Just pay close attention to this angle versus the edge of the frame. So I'm going to click on the crop tool, click on the image, go down to any corner, and you see the arrow turns into a curvy arrow, and I click and drag, and then I can straighten up the horizon line. I'm going to hit enter twice, and next I'm going to go image mode. Here, let me set that crop by clicking on, with the window small like this, I don't have the check mark I normally have. So I clicked on the move tool and that set it. So next, let's say, is there anything special about the color here? Not really. So why don't we see what it looks like in black and white. So image mode grayscale, flatten, discard. Now I say, well, what's interesting? This is about this texture and this horizon line and this sky. Right now this is kind of too bright, so I'm going to see about taking the whole brightness down a bit. And okay. And then that's better. The tone is a little bit even though from here to here, so if I were to take this lasso and take this corner down a little bit by selecting it, then click select and mask, feather, and again image, adjustment, brightness, contrast, and that helps bring our eye out this direction more. This corner too a little bit. I'm going to darken that. Image, adjustment, brightness, contrast. Okay, take the rectangular marquee tool and select and mask to feather it out. And let's darken that. I'm going to use levels and raise the contrast too. So here we go. I'm going to pull in the shadow right up to the edge, pull in the highlight right up to the edge, and deselect. So here we have, getting more interest going with the clouds that are there. And next, let's get some light into the water back here. I'm going to use the elliptical marquee, holding down Alt. I'm going to click and drag out an oval like this and feather it. And levels again. I'm going to hide it. Control H, Control L is our shortcut for levels. And bring in the highlight, raise the contrast. If I was going a little more slowly, I may not have, well, it's not so bad looking. It looks like there could be clouds making it darker back here and sunlight opening onto the water here. But in any event, you can see there's a bit more interest here with Control 0. The way the light is working together and the shapes are working together versus that. Okay? So editing, do edit. This one is interesting for the copy image here. Let's try that one. Control N and enter. Control V. Same idea. Image adjustment grayscale. I'm sorry, image mode grayscale. Going to use the square marquee, which is hiding under here, and feather it, and darken, and I'm going to raise the contrast too with some levels in here. So I bring in the highlight, bring in the shadow on the left, bring in the highlight on the right, and see what happens. We are discovering all kinds of cool clouds in there. And I'm going to inverse the selection. That's select inverse. I used a shortcut. And levels. I think what I'm going to do is cancel this, deselect it, and darken these outer edges first. So something like that, including this. Feather it out. Image adjustment, brightness, contrast. Just like on the last one, where
hey, Kristen.
The rocks were all kind of bland. By darkening the foreground, it leads your eye back into here. Okay, so next I want to raise the contrast in here to pick up some of this texture.
For more drama. And so I right.
So let's see, feather it. And to do that, I use levels. Let me hide it. Control H, levels shortcut, Control L, and raise the light up here. Bring the midtones down, and that raises the contrast and makes the grasses stand out more. Get more of a linear rhythm going here. And deselect. So here's the difference between this one and that one. Okay. Don't be shy. Grab your Photoshop, get working on it. Same with this. We can build much more drama in the sky, develop the light in here a little bit. Copy. Control N. In fact, Control V. I'd like you to get going with this and then repost some of these pictures kind of edited in the fashion that I'm showing you. Question, is color important to this shot? I don't think so. So I'm going to go into grayscale right away, image mode grayscale, and grab the square marquee, pull it through here, select, feather, Control L, darken this guy. Okay. We can do a little more image adjustment, brightness, contrast. Really look for some drama with those clouds. Control D. This is already dark through here. That's good. This light, I'm not going to make this sparkle any darker. That's really from here. It's a little blown out. More advanced digital photography, you'll learn how to control some of that using RAW and how to meter more carefully. But for now, this is fine. And I'm going to make a selection right through here. Feather it back and hide it. Control H, levels, Control L. Bring that in so you can see it. And just adding a little presence of light in here. Okay, and that's it. Okay, this is the after. Here's the before. And you can see how I've shifted the emphasis. Whoops, paste, grayscale, paste right here. Notice how there's no presence of where's the focal point on this one. And here, darker sky, dramatic clouds, focal point right in here. Shifts downward so you can really see. And just a grayscale conversion is still fairly boring. It's when we get working with the light that everything gets exciting. Okay. Yeah, not so great. What would be good is if you were able to walk down the dock and ask the guys here on the Amistad, could you get in close to do some shots, even standing on the dock and looking at some of the details of the rigging and the bow, and again, being very careful not to include any sky or background. If you got talking with them and they seem friendly enough, they might even invite you aboard and you could start looking at some of the details, looking straight down on the deck. Again, that's not quite this week's assignment. We're dealing more with water, but that's how I would have handled that. So, same deal, it's not about water, but at least you're in close and filling the frame. This one would be nice as a grayscale conversion, also dark in the foreground. And ditto, not so interesting. It's not about the water, and it's kind of far away. And okay, so going a little long here at 13 minutes, so see you on the blog.